what's up everybody, it's BetcherGames75 here today. Today we're playing Sakura Succubus 4, Part 6. Alright, let's get started. Whoo! Oh yes. Yes, yes I can. I think this sounds like fun. We're gonna have a scary night. I too think this proposition is a charming one. I am very fond of the ghost stories. About ghosts. Himeno Kayusaku is one of my favorite authors? Okay, that's nice. I love the area and atmosphere, and that prevails in the majority of his stories. I'm not so sure about this myself. Marina, who has been audibly quiet during this exchange, now speaks up. Frowning, she says, "It sounds like a waste of time. Horror stories, as we all know, are nothing but nonsense." Really? There are vastly more important things in this world to discuss than silly fantasy screeds. That is true enough, but you could say that of any work of fiction. They are all imaginative works, but that does not make them any less worthy than documentaries or biographies. Indulging in fiction can allow one to experience a wide gamut of emotions, all the while in comfort of one's home. They can be most edifying. Relaxing too. Edifying. You ought to try it, Marina. Come on. You might as well enjoy it. Come on, you gotta enjoy it. I doubt that very much, but well. Marina coils a stand of white hair about one finger, her brow furrowed. I suppose I can give it a chance. You all seem enthused about it, and I would not wish to spoil your fun. All right, now we're 4 for 5. 4 for 5. Oh, we're gonna have a 5 for 5, 4 for 4. What about you, Hiroki? Do you want to listen to? Sure, I'm game. I don't have any problems with horror stories. Great, let's get started then. First, I gotta dim the lights for dramatic effects. Hazel turns off the lights in the living room, thus plunging us into darkness. Now I want to paint for you a picture using nothing but my voice. Close your eyes and let my story wash over you. I mean, the lights are still on. It's time to step into your worst nightmares. Go ahead, start. Once upon a time, not so very long ago, there was a cute but scatterbrained music girl student. We'll call how about Azusa? Well, Azurlane, that'll be better. Azusa was a cheerful girl, but she had a secret which she nursed within her breast like a flickering flame. She was passionately, vocably in love with the campus idol, Mamiko. Mamiko was a beautiful girl from a wealthy family with all of the affections of affluence. She wore expensive clothes, sprayed herself with floral perfume, and her hair was neatly teased into curls. She could play numerous instruments. Her essays received the highest praise. She was the darling of all the faculty and most of the student body too. Azusa knew when the first she laid eyes upon Mamiko that she had to have her own for her own. But their social standings were so desperate. Azusa feared Mamiko would never return her feelings. Azusa was Kazuto, the dulled drums of blackest despair. But while she was swallowed, a rumor began to spread around campus. According to this rumor, one needed only to take a candid photograph of their beloved and text it to the mysterious woman called Venus. Think of a Venus from Pop. Then the pair would be bound together for all the eternity. Azusa did not believe in any fairy tales. She was dense, but not wholly stupid, but was so desperate, she would have tried anything. Sneakily, she took a photo of Miko, then sent it to the woman called Venus. But after that, things began to go horribly wrong. That's her? Wow. It was late at night when Azusa's phone began to beep. The sound jolted her awake to the bedroom darker than abyss. Eyes wide, her hair rumpled. Azusa reached for her phone. She took it betwixt her trembling fingers, her heart pounding all while, for she knew who it was who had messaged her. Not gonna lie, she looks nice. She looks familiar to another character from the older series of the Sakura games, you know. It was Venus. Azusa read through Venus' reply once, twice, and then she felt her heart constrict within her chest. Venus' message read thus, Thank you, foolish girl, for sending me a photograph of your beloved. She truly is adorable, though I fear she shall not be for much longer. I am fair witch, and I shall use my powers to bind you. As per the rumors, it would not do to go back upon my world, but alas, I will not let you get what you want that easily. Are you not familiar with the age-old saying that one ought to be careful what they wish for? If you truly love this woman, you would confess to her on your own, but you did not. You are cowardly, and hope instead to ensnare her with magic. This cannot go unpunished. My powers are great, and with you shall get what you wanted, but not in the manner you envisioned. Amiko's soul shall be mine, but her body is yours. You may do with it as you will, for all eternity until it begins to rot, but she would not be the woman you remember. Her essence now belongs to me. She is naught but a husk, and she will hunt you for the rest of your days. Can you not hear for her? Foolish Azusa, she is coming to you this very moment, dragging her feet behind her. As I type, she is standing outside her home, and soon she will begin to knock. As you may imagine, Azusa was terrified by this message. She gripped her phone in her hands, curled up on her bed, and tried to console herself. Surely it was some prank done in a bad taste. It was unthinkable that her Mamiko, could have been cursed, all thanks to that single photograph. Azusa thought of texting her childhood friend, Mari, for assurance despite the lateness of the hour. But no sooner than she had begun to scroll through her contact list, she heard it. A knock. There was only one knock at first, but it was low, ominous, and it started Azusa, so she dropped her phone upon her mattress. Her heart constricted her chest, as though squeezed by a glacial hand, and her blood ran ice cold. Perhaps the message had not been a joke after all. Venus had promised Mamiko would come to her silent as a thin and thick night and rap upon her door, and here she was, as Venus had stated. It was too precise to be a merry coincidence, and too for Azusa to receive any other visitors. The sky beyond her bedroom window was black as pitch. Even the stars and the moon seemed to have been extinguished. There was no light in Azusa's room, nor any hope. Perhaps, Azusa told herself, if I sit very still and very quiet, the person outside my door will go away. But they did not. Another knock rippled through the darkness of Azusa's home, unwinding in the air like a thread. Then there came another and another. The knocking grew more insistent with the passing seconds, while Azusa grew more and more fearful. Her heart was beating so hard she feared it might rupture within her breast. She did not want to answer the door, but she feared if she refused, the interloper would split it open like a walnut. Then they would have been even less obliged to listen to the reason. Nobody likes being kept out in the cold, not even monsters. Alright, I'm coming. I'll let you in, so please don't hurt me. I never wanted this to happen. Azusa rose from her bed with trembling legs, then crossed her darkened bedroom. Her floorboards creaked beneath her weight, dark and sinister. And all the while, the knocking continued. It echoed within her ears over and over, threatening to drive her to madness. Azusa's apartment was a small one, with only 2 rooms. She had lived there for a year, and it was familiar to her as her own palm. But in the dark, she stumbled. Everything looked strange and shadowy, and even her rice cooker upon the counter made her start. Her whole body was numb. The knocking continued over and over until our interrupted but stupid young heroine reached the front door, where her shoes were lined up like a Russian doll's. She swallowed, then she reached out. I'll let you in, so please don't curse me, don't hate me. I only did this because I love you. I'm so sorry, Miko. As the fingers curled about the door handle, it was shockingly cool, so much it seems to drain the warmth from her skin. She turned the door, the lock clicked, and it drew back, to reveal a shambling figure that defied Azusa's comprehension. It was Mimiko, but at the same token, it was not. Her hair, normally so perfect, fell in a tangle about her shoulders, obscuring much of her face. Her eyes were shrouded in darkness. but her mouth was twisted in a look of despair. Her skin was white as chalk, white as death, and as she stumbled forth, Azusa drew back aghast, finally aware of what she had done. Venus, whoever she was, had casted an awful enchantment upon Mamiko. She had, with nothing more than a photo, stripped all that was human from the prim and proper young lady, transfiguring her into something awful, something evil. Oh no, oh God, no. As Azusa stumbled, she tripped and hit the floor with a dull thud, which could not break the pall of eerie silence. Mamiko, is that really you? Mamiko did not say anything. Perhaps she could not. She only drew closer, arms outstretched, as she made to fold Azusa to her. To take her, Mamiko, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Azuma whimpered helplessly, tears beating in her eyes. It seems as she sat there, staring at this thing, which had once been Mamiko, that they were the only two people left in the world. She could scream if she had the breath, but who would hear her? No one. Who would save her? She had been plunged into a nightmare, and she knew as she felt Mamiko's fingers close about her wrist, her carrion wreathed, rasping and lifeless upon her cheek, that she would never ever wake up. So what do you think? Hazel concludes her tale with a self-satisfied grin, leaning back upon the couch with one leg crossed. That was pretty spooky, huh? Well, I wonder if Fumi, who's taken upon the mantle as our resident horror expert, folds her arms, her expression thoughtful. I suppose your tale contained a lot of aspects of classic horror stories, though I cannot help but to feel a touch disappointment at its conclusion. She's disappointed. How so? Do you think it wasn't gory enough? I could have had zombies Mamiko tear her pointy teeth straight through Azusa's throat. All gore and grar. Hazel dives at Ayu, who's sitting beside her, and begins to tickle her, to which Ayu shrieks, "Get off of me, you moron. You're going to wrinkle my clothes." Sorry, but I can't. I'm too busy being a zombie. We don't have brains, so we can't listen to orders. All we know is blood. Now give me the goods. You'll be getting no goods from me, idiot. Stop that. No. Wait, don't touch me there. That's... Ayu giggles, pinned beneath the couch, and the weight of Hazel's body as our storyteller runs her hands beneath the hem of her shirt. Hazel! Ayu lashes out, one of her feet catching Hazel in the stomach. Oof! Hazel's stomach might be toned, but Ayu's legs are lean and deceptively muscular, trained after years of perfection in complex dancing routines. Hazel recoils, breathless, and cradles her belly. Ha ha ha! Panting heavily, she brushes a few loose strands of her hair behind her ear. Then she smiles. You might look cute, but you give as good as you get. Guess that's Ayu for you. If any zombie tried to eat you, you'd knock him flying. Of course, I am not to be trifled with. Please remember that next time you try to attack me, you might not be so lucky to escape with your head attached to your shoulders. Darn, she looks like a flower, but she sure as heck stings like a bee. I've got to remember that. I kind of like my head where it is. I don't want to end up like Azusa. Hazel giggles. So what were you saying about my story, Movie? Do you think it'd be better if there was more blood and gore? It's quite the opposite. In fact, I think you tipped too much of your hand. The way you built suspense was commendable, but it fell apart when Mamiko was revealed to be the one at the door. If it were to be me, I would have ended the story before the big reveal. It is often better to keep the reader, or in this case the listener, guessing, particularly in horror. Often our imagination can be conjured up scenarios more horrifying than words ever could. So you're not in the blood and guts and gore camp? There's a time and a place for it, but it is not the sort of horror I prefer. I like subtly disquieting stories with flickering lights and ambient noises. Ghosts and malcontents spirits are my forte. not blood-soaked zombies or serial killers. I guess I should have figured as much. Let me guess, you're a fan of creepy abandoned shrines too. But of course, I am very partial to them. I knew it. And what about the rest of you? Did you like my story? Hazel looking at me expectantly, her eyes wide. Look how it sparkles. I like that. I guess she's waiting for feedback. What should I say? I thought it was a good story. It needs a bit of work. I thought it was a good story. It needs a bit of work. I think your story could use a bit of refining, Hazel. Eh? Do you really think so? Doesn't that go without saying? You piped up, her eyes narrow. I thought your story was downright ridiculous. Who could have ever be frightened of such nonsense? The story sounded kind of familiar. I've heard of Azusa and Mamiko before. They're characters from a Yuri visual novel I read once. Even cosplay as Azusa before. Ooh, good catch. Hazel whistles. I didn't think anybody else being into girl-on-girl loving like I am. I figured it'd fly under your radar. Oh, that's a Yuri moment right there. I'm not into it myself, but I like cute girls. I like visual novels. I read a lot of different ones. Are you admitting you stole your story, Hazel? I knew you were scummy, but I didn't think you were plagiarist. That's a crime, you know. Hey, Hazel pals. It ain't a crime so long as you don't get caught. Inside, there's so many stories out there. It's hard to be wholly original. That sounded like an excuse to me. It ain't an excuse. I changed the story up a whole bunch. But you did use somebody else's characters. Why not? I'm bad at thinking of names. Hazel's story was quite unlike the original. In the visual novel I read, Mamiko's soul wasn't stolen, and she didn't turn into a zombie. She was actually a sadist, kind of like Marina, and she bullied Azusa, but Azusa was a misogynist, and she liked it, and they had a happy ending. There wasn't any creepy about it. It's there. You see, it's totally different. I don't know if you approve it though. I like stories with happy endings. I take it you're not a fan of horror. It's fine, but I wanted Azusa and Miko to be happy together. I couldn't care one way or the other, personally. It's not like any of it is real. It doesn't really matter. Wow. Okay. Ayu rolls her eyes, then rises her feet. Now I think I'm going to bed. Are you tired, Ayu? I'm tired of Hazel's stupid ghost stories, and I don't want to be tickled again. Night. Ayu leaves the room. Hifumi and Cosmo soon follow suit. Now it's only Hazel, Marina, and I in the living room. So what do you think? Hazel looks at Marina, who's been very quiet throughout the evening. Did you like my story, Marina? What? Oh, Marina blinks, startled, then she shakes her head. It might be imagination, but I think I can see the faint beginnings of a blushing upon her face. It was fine, I suppose. You suppose, but you don't know. Weren't you listening to me, Marina? Of course I was. Though I fear it did not all stick. I was otherwise occupied. Think about she didn't listen. It's obvious. She didn't even listen. About stocks. Stocks? Why stocks? Stocks are very, very important. The success of my company is based upon them. I cannot help but think of them. Yeah, I need to be investing in stocks right now. I gotta invest in GME, Doge, hedge funds, even CSX. I'm really quite alright, so please don't ask any further questions. Now I must go to bed. Miranda gets to her feet perhaps a bit too quickly. She almost stumbles, but she's able to right herself at the last minute. Good night, you two. Don't stay up too late. And Hiroki, I hope you don't have any bad dreams. Miranda's voice is softer than usual, almost brotherly. The look she affixes me with one of my genuine concerns. So compassionate, it warms my heart. Her exterior might be cold and hard, but deep down Marina's a huge sweetheart. Thanks, but I think I'll be fine. I've seen worse horror stories than that. Hazel's story really wasn't all that scary. It wasn't? Not really. Why? Did it bother you? No, of course not. I am not too mature to let such a silly tale bother me. I was simply concerned for your sake. Now, I really must go. Good night, dear Hiroki. Yeah, good night. Such as Marina departs alone. Trembling legs, my arms folded. Now I know it wasn't my imagination. Marina was blushing, and she was stuttering too. This is all of most of Marina-like behavior. I'm starting to get curious. She isn't afraid of ghosts, is she? Ah, what a day. So I sigh to myself as I turn over beneath my covers. It's late at night and I'm exhausted, but I can't sleep. My succubus and Torridge are running me rage. What with their fighting and all their demands, but I care for each of them, and I'm happy I was able to go on holidays with them. It's been a lot of fun. I hope we can spend even more time together tomorrow. I yawn again and pull my covers about like a cocoon. Blanketed by the darkness, everything is still and quiet. I hear, though, faintly the sound of the waves as they lap against the shore, but the seabirds are absent. They must be fast asleep by now. I feel I should follow in their suit, but though I could close my eyes, it still cannot off. Start to count sheep, hoping this will help, but I stall at my 17th sheep, distracted by a rapping of knuckles. There's someone at my bedroom door. For a few brief moments, I think back on Hazel's horror story and zombified Mamiko. Hiroki, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I want to see you. Are you awake? But the voice which accompanies the knocking is nothing. I don't like the guttural growl of blooded zombies. I recognize that voice. Marina? Yes, it's me. Please pardon my intrusion. Can I come in? Sure you can, but don't worry. I didn't fall asleep yet. You're not disturbing me. Thank goodness, I'm so glad. What the fuck? Marina exhales in her relief, but then herself inside. She closes the door with a soft click. Be careful not to cause too much noise, then turns to my face. Her bronze skin seemed to blend in with the darkness, but where her ivory hair stands out, a flickering flames atop a tallow candle. She isn't wearing her white sundress, and neither is she in her pajamas. She's clad instead in her succubus material, though for what reason I cannot fathom. Do you usually sleep like that? The horns look like they get in the way, not to mention the wings. Sometimes I do. In the succubus realm, it is expected there. But as human, I generally dispense with them, even at night. So you're dressed like that because it is a bit embarrassing, but well, Marina coyly presses the tips of her index finger all together. I thought it would be best to spend a night like this, just in case. In case what? In case anything bad happens. If I'm in my succubus form, it'll be easier for me to fight off any enemies. What enemies? I frown. This is Ayu's private beach. We're the only people here. Nobody else is allowed to stay here. Not without Ayu's permission. The house is pretty well hidden too. It seems unlikely this place to get broken into. It is not thieves I am worried about. There are merry humans who can be dispensed of as easily as stumbling out a cigarette. I am more worried about. Marina mumbles something, but her voice is so quiet I can't hear her. Who was that for? I beckon Marina to me. She comes standing by beside my bed, interlinked hands and anxious eyes. What are you worried about? It is. Marina pauses, inhales. Silly, very silly in fact. I know I've been foolish, but I can't help myself. I've been horribly on the edge ever since I heard Hazel's silly story, though I am only too aware of. It is nonsensical. I don't believe in ghosts or monsters, and yet, now I think I understand why Marina came to me. My earlier guess was right on the money. You really are afraid of ghosts. Yeah. How could a succubus be afraid of ghosts? Marina steps back, abashed. Her cheeks burn cherry red, much like her succubus cherry. Is it really that obvious? It was kind of obvious, yeah. I could tell you weren't acting quite yourself tonight. It all started when Hazel brought up ghost stories. You were all distracted and you were stammering. I never seen like that before. Oh no. Marina sighs, her shoulders slump. You don't think others realized, do you? I don't think they did. No. Ayu was more focused on denigrating Hazel than examining you, and Hazel was not the most perceptive of people. There's a chance that Fumi may have noticed. I would not be surprised if she did. She knows me better than the rest. But she's discreet. I doubt she'd tease you about it. Well, that is a relief. I wouldn't be able to stand it if that waffle Ayu knew about this. My reputation would be in ruins. She would never take me seriously again. Marina blinks at me from beneath her eyelashes. You won't tell anybody about this, will you, Hiroki? Of course I won't. I'm a gentleman. Thank goodness. I'm happy to know it. Of course, I never doubted you. But I feared I have made myself look foolish. I hope you're not judging me. This is pretty unexpected, I'll admit it. But I don't think any less of you because it. We all have phobias and they're not always logical. I don't really like insects myself, especially spiders. They're something about their long spiny legs. Yikes. I shudder, they're so gross. That's why I need the AK-47 whenever you see one. You need that. That is not very manly, but it is no matter. I just like bugs myself. A few people are fond of them, apart from Cosmos perhaps. Does she like bugs? I don't know what that girl likes. Her tastes are so unusual. She is perplexing, but at least she is relatively good natured. I don't think she would mock me if she knew the truth, but I would vastly prefer if nobody found out. I am fucking Suki Marina, the well-respected businesswoman. I am known for my superlative decision-making skills and my level-headed nature. Superlative. It would not do if it got out that I am afraid of monsters. It might be bad for your public image, yeah. But it's fine if you want to confide this stuff to me. In fact, I'm glad you came to me for comfort. I like feeling useful. I'll listen to anything you have to say, Marina, and I won't mock you, so don't worry. You don't need to be afraid when you're with me. Now, I put my covers back, then pat the empty space beside me. Do you want to spend the night with me? I can keep you safe. Oh, Hiroki. Marina's face floods with gratitude. She places one hand upon her bosom, which is heaving, and smiling. I knew I could rely on you. This is why you're my darling. Above all others, you are such a good man, kind man. Nah, I'm nothing, sweat. I'm just doing what anybody would. Who turned down the opportunity to spend the night with a babe like you? You might have the point there. I'm just as renowned for my looks as I am my business acumen. But you are the only one I wish to lie with. You're my dear Hiroki. And when I'm with you, I never feel afraid. Not of bugs or monsters. You've got no need to worry on that score. I'll scare them all off for you. I promise. Marina slides to bed beside me, then cuddles to me. She rests her head upon my chest and winds her arms around my waist, her silvery hair fanning across the pillows. I pull the blankets over us, then nuzzle against her. When I inhale, I can smell the scent of Marina's shampoo. It has a pleasant, fruity aroma which puts me at ease. My eyelids begin to drop. I yawn, then I fall fast asleep. Hey, Hiroki, wake up! Wake up, Hiroki! What? I'm roused very early, falling by the morning by a chipper voice so energetic it's almost draining. In the face of all this cheeriness, I feel more tired than ever before. I yawn, yawning, I crack both my eyes open soon. I had to look away from the white spots which bloomed before my vision. It takes a few moments for my vision to focus, but when it does, a familiar face comes into view. Hazel is looming over me, her ponytail brushing my cheek. Her fingers are curled about my shoulders, but she draws away when my eyes open and beams. Hello there, sleepy beauty. How you're feeling? Good? Tired. I yawn again and turn over in bed. Can't you give me a few more minutes? No, wait, this is too important to wait. Why? What is it? My boss doesn't want me to come into the office, does he? Forget about your boss. I'm here to be your exercise fairy, take care of your health. I groan. I was afraid this might happen. Hazel takes her health and that of others very seriously, which I suppose is a good thing. But I came here to relax, not work up a sweat. I'd rather idle away my hours on the beach, sipping cocktails like Marina. Speaking of which, where is Marina? I swear she slipped into my bed last night, garbed in her succubus outfit, but I can't see hide nor hair of her this morning. Did she really come into my bed, or was it that a dream? It certainly doesn't seem very Marina-like to seek shelter in my arms after listening to a silly horror story. I can't remember all the finger-fighter points of Hazel's yawn, but I can't recall it being all that blood-curdling. Now, don't you... me, mister. Hazel takes my shoulders again, then turns me over, so I'm facing her. Why don't you come jogging with me just once? You never know, you might like it. I'm pretty certain that I won't. I've already had to get up at the crack of dawn and sprint to the train so I can get to this office on time. It's not fun or invigorating. It's stressful. Well, yeah, but that's the cause. Well, that's because you're not jogging for the love of it. Exercising for the sake of exercising is a way different beast from running for a train. I'll show you how to limber up first, so you don't put too much strain on your muscles, and I'll let you go at your own pace. Well, we can take some scenic routes around the beach. It's up super pretty here. Now point out all the sights. Will only be half an hour, and an hour tops. When we get back, if Fumi will have breakfast waiting for us. I swear her miso soup really will taste better than ever on the back of her glorious workout. You'll really feel like you earned it. So yeah, so this is the end of today's episode. Well, actually part. So yes, so thank you everyone for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to share this video as well. Don't forget to hit those notification bells. And I'll see you guys in the next one.